Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Good Saturday morning. It's 71 degrees here in sunny South Florida, so a nice warm morning. Having my morning coffee. How are you? I was the reason I have the thumbnail is I was reading a poll online this morning. I think it's a Trafalgar Group poll. 80% of Americans, regardless of party affiliation, so this is Democrats and Republicans, MAGA and Antifa, 80% of Americans believe that the United States is in a period of decline. A period of decline. Can you imagine, when has there been a poll showing that America is in a decline? And 80% of Americans believe that, regardless of party affiliation? Well, there's a few reasons for that. The number one reason is we have this corrupt, tired, senile old coot who's running the country right now and doesn't know what the hell's going on. I mean, that's obviously a big part of it. But there's some other problems too. Sue's Zoo, of course I can see you. Wookiees, Dan, Shabaka, good morning. Yeah, good morning to everyone. Good morning. Well, there's a couple of reasons why 80% of Americans believe America is in a decline. First of all, people like us, like regular people, you see it, right? It's not just the border in Afghanistan, but Afghanistan really, though, shows how America's influence around the world is eroded because we have no credibility anymore. We left all those, not just those thousands of Americans behind, but we left the civilians of Afghanistan behind and the army of Afghanistan behind to be massacred by the people that brought down the buildings. So that's a terrible thing. But there's those of us that see the gas prices, the economy, and everything that's going on, and that's one thing. But Democrats, they've been brainwashing Democrats to think America's days are over for a long time. So you put their delusions together with our reality, and 80% think America's in a state of decline. And the crazy thing is, like these CNN, MSNBCers, when they see, most Americans think America's in decline, they're like, yes, we did it. That's a good thing, because America's the problem with the world. They're sickos. Sue from Michigan is now Sue Zoos. Well, welcome back. The shelves are bare. I don't know. People say that, and we don't go to the actual grocery store that much. We do DoorDash, but I've gone to the grocery store a couple times this week to pick up one or two things, and it is not the same grocery store that it was a year and a half ago. There's no doubt about it. I feel more like I'm in a grocery store in Venezuela. Oh, there are ants everywhere. On the countertop where I'm sitting. There's one thing, though, I can't understand, and I know a lot of you are from other parts of the country, other parts of the world, so I don't know if this is a problem where you're at, but where I'm at, here in South Florida, no place, these small businesses do not have enough workers. The mall is opening up 1 or 2 hours late every day. They don't have enough workers to cover, opening at 10 a.m. all the way to closing time. Restaurants are opening later. Some restaurants are only open for takeout because they can't find enough people. Every morning when I'm in front of this area on Saturdays streaming, it hasn't opened yet. This is a pizza restaurant called Mod, and they have a "we're hiring" sign right here. Every store has a "we're hiring" sign. I've been turned away from Chipotle on more than one occasion. They have the door locked because they don't have enough people to make and prepare the food. What is going on here? What are young people doing for money? They're not all Instagram influencers. There's not enough people that have that lucrative of enough following to make a living off of social media. I don't know what is going on. I know they call it the Great Resignation, and anybody that talks about it uses all these vague generalities of gobbledygook that mean nothing. I don't know what. Maybe it's just parents that are my age have their kids living at home and don't make them work and pay all their bills, I guess. I don't know what it is. But, man, I was working from the time I got my first car to pay my car insurance. So I remember my first car, I guess it was 87, and my insurance was $110 a month. That was a lot of money in 1987 for car insurance. It's a lot of money now. But, so I don't know what all the young people are doing for money, but they're certainly not working. Living with parents, using Uber Eats, yeah, on the weekends. I guess. You know, I don't know. They'll be bummed out when reality sets in. There is no doubt about that. You can make a decent living delivering food. Can you really? Really, can you? You know, because like these Uber Eats drivers, you know, by the wear and tear on your vehicle and the gas prices the way they are today, I don't know. Hey, UK, welcome UK. I don't know if that's possible. You know, I mean, to me, it wouldn't be profitable. I wouldn't think. You got wear and tear on your vehicle, the high price of gas because of Biden. I don't think like a delivery driver for Uber Eats or DoorDash really is making that much money. Maybe it's an illusion. $30 for Uber an hour, if they're busy. But you burn up a lot of gas, and it's a lot of wear and tear on your car. What kind of military will we have? A woke snowflake one. That's what we'll have. General Milley, the most effeminate Marine Corps. He's Marine? No, he's Army. The most effeminate Army general ever. The most effeminate man with 4 stars on his shoulder in the history of the U.S. Armed Forces. Yeah, Milley. General Milley Vanilli. What an embarrassment to the Army. Here he is. He takes part in a military coup against President Trump, and he's still all over the place. 68 Camaro was your first car? Well, lucky you. Oh, my goodness. The stimulus checks, that was like, how long ago did that happen? Now, they're not living off, they've burned through the stimulus checks already. They all went out and bought earbuds, you know. Now, they don't have the stimulus checks anymore. The woke crap, well, you know, that kind of stuff is phases, you know, like we had the 60s generation. It is 71 degrees right now where I'm at, 71 here in Florida. So it's going to be a hot one today. If you're not vaccinated or boosted and they won't pay you to stay at home for 10 days, I don't get paid to stay home. I do a lot of my work from home. You know, I have a studio at home and everything. But I don't know who all these people are that get paid to stay home. I did see Glenn Beck's interview with Trump. Yeah, that was a couple weeks back. 10 degrees. Oh, my goodness. Where are you? Supreme Court they rarely make decisions on the spot, only if it's an emergency. Usually the Supreme Court decisions come like months later. They don't move quickly. They got to have all their staff write those huge books of opinions to make them seem smart. They've all made up their minds, but they have to have like a ruling this thick to make it look as if it's justified by all these legal things. Never got paid to stay home. No, me either. Never. Nope. Oh, really? Well, the Pentagon story. I've not heard that story. Gas and repairs or tax write-offs for Uber delivery. Well, sure, but still, it's not worth it. You don't make it. It's not worth it. The wear and tear on the vehicles is not worth it. Not with the gas prices today. If we still had Trump gas prices, ride sharers and Uber Eats guys, they'd be doing okay. Yeah, the mandates. Yeah, you know, and I got some news to report to you guys. And a lot of you guys will be happy about this. We have rescheduled our cruise, our Steve Kane cruise. Supposed to leave 2 weeks from yesterday. We're rescheduling it. A lot of people have been asking. You know, we decided a few days ago we had to reschedule it, but I was waiting until I didn't want to announce it until our travel agent called all the people that are going with us. And it's because of the CDC restrictions that they're putting on, that they put on cruise lines is making it, yeah. I've told everybody Ian has called everybody. The CDC restrictions on cruise ships is making it impossible So if you have not spoken to Ian yet, and you're booked to go with us, you need to call him. I know he has called everybody. I'm not going to give all the details here, but on the rescheduling. But if you're going, call Ian, our travel agent. He'll fill you in. And you can call him. You can call him on the weekend too. He'll answer. I know he has called everyone, and I think he's spoken, if not everyone, all but a couple of people so far. But I wanted to wait until he filled everybody in. And what the CDC is doing on the cruise ships is so insane. It's just insane what they're forcing cruise ships to do. So the CDC is going to. There's still outbreaks. It makes no sense. Well, what they're doing on the cruise ships, and this was not an easy decision to make. We've got. I'm not going to tell you guys when the next one is yet, because people are still getting updated that are booked to go. But we have about 130 people booked on the rescheduled next cruise, which is going to be on a Celebrity Apex, which is a brand new ship, very modern. If you look it up online after my stream, you'll be blown away by it. But what the CDC is doing on cruise ships is crazy, and we got a lot of inside information from people that are sailing on ships on a whole bunch of different cruise lines, and it's impossible. And the news, they're not reporting what the CDC is making the cruise ships do, and what's going on is unbelievable. It's not that everyone's vaccinated, but that's not 100% true. Everyone over the age of 12 is vaccinated. So if you're under 12, you don't have to be vaccinated. And a lot of these ships have a lot of children on them. But the problem is the CDC requirements. Everyone, not just the members of the crew, but the passengers are being tested all the time, because they go into these different ports, and it's a different country, and that country wants everybody tested on board, and this is because of the CDC requirements. So they're testing everybody, not just the crew, the passengers, on the cruise ships constantly. So if I went to the coffee shop, there I get my Starbucks here, and I tested everybody that went in and out of that Starbucks all day long, even if they were all vaccinated, how many of them would have a positive result? So they're testing everybody on the ships because of the CDC constantly. When someone gets a positive result, they have to be isolated until they test negative for a certain period of time. Then they do this is all CDC requirement. Then they do contact tracing. So here I am at this counter. So if this is a bar, right? This guy over here gets tested positive. He's isolated. Me and everybody else sitting here, we have to get tested, and then we're isolated until we get our test results back, right? So what's been happening on all the cruise ships, this isn't our cruise line, this is all the cruise lines, and there's 92 cruise ships at sea in America, out of the United States right now. This is happening on all 92 cruise ships sailing out of America right now. So when you get your positive result, and most everybody has no symptoms. People are, because they get a positive result. They have no symptoms. They're isolated in their cabin. They cannot leave. If I test positive, like my daughter goes with me, so my daughter and I share a cabin. If I test positive, right, I get isolated. I'm split up from her for the rest of the cruise. Right, she has to get tested, and she's isolated in another cabin waiting for the results, and then I'm positive. They take me out of my cabin. They have a whole deck just for people that test positive. Everybody's asymptomatic pretty much, right? So then I got to spend and basically locked in my cabin like I'm in the brig. So, and this is happening on all 92 cruise ships are sailing out of the United States right now. This is everyone. And so they have somebody who's in the shows, right? Like a dancer in the show. This has been happening. They'll have one person test positive, that means everybody else in the show is contact traced, and they're isolated too, so there's no onboard entertainment. The cruise line pays for the testing. There's no onboard entertainment on the ships. So, and you see the ships are being turned away from ports because these countries are saying, well, you've tested all 5,000 people on board, and 50, even though they're asymptomatic, have a positive test. You can't come in to our country. So you're sitting on a ship with no entertainment. You can't go to the ports you want to go to. You can't schedule shore excursions. You can't leave the ship, and boom, you know. Royal Caribbean, this is not our cruise line, Royal Caribbean, right? Listen to this. This is crazy. So many countries, so many of the islands aren't letting people in because of the CDC test. This is why we had to reschedule the cruise. So many of these countries, oh yeah, sounds fun. Yeah, exactly. That's why we rescheduled it. That's why we rescheduled it. Because the CDC is going to stop regulating cruises in the middle of the month. Now, our cruise was going to leave 5 days after, right? 6 days after. But, you know, they're still going to be doing this at that period, so we've had to reschedule ours down the road. So, Royal Caribbean, listen to this. Royal Caribbean. So many islands, so many countries won't let ships dock because of the CDC requirements, right? So there's a few places people can go. I've seen people on board the ships are leaking this stuff out. So this is Royal Caribbean. 3 of the Royal Caribbean ships pull into St. Martin, which is the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is a beautiful island. I went there on one of our trips. 3. Now, only one of them was supposed to stop there, but so many islands are turning them away. All 3 Royal Caribbean ships pull into port in St. Martin, U.S. Virgin Islands. A 4th ship pulls up behind them. A 4th Royal Caribbean ship is following them. They have like a fleet of Royal Caribbean ships. The 4th ship, you know what the 4th ship is for? This is insane. The 4th ship? The 4th ship is, a lot of people call it the plague ship. The 4th ship has no passengers on it, just crew that have tested positive on the other Royal Caribbean ships. So they pull into port. The 3 Royal Caribbean ships, with each of them has like 5,000 or more passengers on it. They've got the 4th ship that's just following them, and every time they go into port, they take off the COVID positive crew members and put them on this 4th ship that has no paying guest on it, just crew that have tested positive. And this is the CDC regulations. It's insanity. And I mean, if you went to Walmart, like there's a super Walmart across the street, if everybody that went into that Walmart on any, like today's Saturday, right? Any given Saturday, and you tested everyone, what percentage of them would test positive and have no symptoms? Yeah, it's a plague ship, this one. It's a ship following them around, just picking up the COVID positive crew members. I know. Hey, Bahamas. It will be fun when the CDC stops doing this. So we rescheduled it way down the road when all this will be over, because the CDC is going to stop regulating cruise ships on the 15th or 16th of this month. But everybody you're hearing about that is testing positive, almost every single one of them is asymptomatic, and those that have symptoms are mild, like a very mild cold. Yeah, really? I did not know that. So that's why we rescheduled it. We decided a few days ago, but we had to wait until the travel agent reached out to everybody and talked to them that was going in our group, and that took a few days. It's ridiculous. So that did not sound like fun, you know, so we had to reschedule. But we rescheduled on the Celebrity Apex, which you guys should look up. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, April, well, that's good news. That's good news. I know. So, my vacation is canceled. I'll be working that week, so I'm not going to take off. Some people said, well, you should still take the week off. I'm not going to take off. I'll wait till the next cruise. It's hard for me to take off work. I do need a vacation. I do. Yeah, Royal Caribbean owns Celebrity. That's right. Yeah, Celebrity is the luxury cruise line of Royal Caribbean. But when the CDC stops regulating cruises in the middle of the month, this stuff will die down soon. But not soon enough for us. Because it takes a while for this to get through to the other countries. These islands are dying because the cruise ships are being turned away. Well, you buy travel insurance, which is pretty cheap. Actually, our travel agent offers it. The travel insurance price is based on the cost of your travel. Be careful of work burnout. I've been burned out from work since, 93. It's life. There's a spike because of New Year's. It's not, no. There's a spike because everybody's getting tested. Like, I've had a cold, right? And I got tested twice because I want to make sure I don't have it, because I don't want to be... If I tested positive, I wouldn't stay at my house because of my wife. I'd go stay in a hotel, because of my wife's condition. I don't want her to get sick. Oh, that's good, Dion. Awesome. So, but everyone's getting tested. If you tested, Florida cases are very high right now. And I know so many people that have COVID. I don't know anyone that's super, super sick. Now, a lot of people have, like Steve has this bad cold or flu. He's still sick as hell, and his whole family are sick as hell. They've all been tested. No one's tested positive. I was sick. I got tested twice. My daughter, she had a bad cold. She got tested twice, and we've all tested negative. So, so a lot of people, like more people than ever, are getting tested now. So if you test the entire population, which is basically what's happening in Florida, you're going to get a whole bunch of positive results, no matter what you're testing for. You could be testing for, make anything. If you test the whole population of a state for anything, you're going to get a lot of positives. And there's a panic going on. I was in a traffic jam. Yesterday, I was driving somewhere. I was in a traffic jam, and I realized I wasn't in a traffic jam. I was in a line way down the road of people that were waiting to get into a testing center. So, false positives, yeah. I mean, the people on the cruise ship, 99.9 of them have no symptoms that test positive. I was thinking about going to Key West to make a vlog. I haven't been to Key West in a long time, but it's very expensive right now because it's winter time. The hotels in Key West this week are so expensive. It's like ridiculous. I got to wait until after the winter to go to Key West. I'll never go to China. I will never go to China. Never, never, never. Stop getting tested and the madness ends. Yeah, that's true. But the problem is everybody says that until they get sick. We've rescheduled the cruise. Because of what I was talking about with the non-stop testing requirements that the CDC has imposed on the cruise lines. If you go on the CDC website, there are 92 cruise ships sailing out of the United States right now. 92. Every one has COVID positives on it. No one's symptomatic because they're testing everybody on these ships, and some of these ships have 5,000-6,000 people on them. Life goes on. We rescheduled it. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, we have 120, 130 booked on the next one. I can't remember if it was 120 or 130 or somewhere in between. Once they stop doing the constant testing, we'll be good to go. You're all invited. Celebrity Apex, check it out. It's way down the road. Yeah. But what I was talking about here in the beginning, there's a new poll out. 80% of Americans, regardless of party affiliation, believe America is in decline under Joe Biden. And I want you to think about this now. Can anyone think of one positive accomplishment of Joe Biden since Inauguration Day? Sarah is actually booked on our next cruise. She is booked on it, yeah. So I hope to see her there. One positive thing Biden has done since Inauguration Day. Can you think of one? All right, now, tell me, now just list one thing. Everybody can do this. One thing Biden has screwed up since Inauguration Day. See how varied we can be on our answers. One thing that's worse because of Biden. Exactly, Weatherman. If you tested everybody for herpes, how many people would test positive? Yeah. The price of everything's up. Because energy is what gets everything around. So if I'm keeping my head blocked out of the light because I thought I'm keeping my head lean this way, so I didn't realize when I sat here I had that bright street light thing. I thought it would be better if I block it with my head for you guys to see. At least I can see you better without the light. Inflation, yeah. Well, COVID is a complete failure for Biden. Just a complete failure. He's destroyed everything. I mean, look at what he's done. I mean, look, think about what he's done economically with this. Like the cruise industry. Do you know how many? They're losing billions of dollars because of what he's doing, and that's just one. That's just one area. Yeah, nothing. Everything has turned to crap with Biden. Everything. No, yeah. Yeah, President Trump not only shut down sex trafficking, he did it internationally when he shut down Backpage, which is where all the sex trafficking and prostitution was being advertised. He should have got a Nobel Prize for shutting down Backpage, President Trump. Hey, listen, it could have been worse, right, than Kamala. He could have picked Mayor Pete to be vice president. Who would you rather have as vice president? Tell me the answer. Tell me, write out the name. Kamala or Mayor Pete? You have to pick. You can't say neither. That's a cop-out. It's got to be one of the... Who would be worse as vice president? Kamala or Mayor Pete? It's got to be one of those two. You can't say neither or a third person. Kamala or Mayor Pete? I think my pick would be, I would rather have Kamala than Mayor Pete. We'd be screwed with Mayor Pete. And you know why we'd be screwed with Mayor Pete? Kamala knows she's stupid. Kamala knows she's incompetent. Kamala knows she has no clue. So she would find someone. She would find people that they might be liberal jerks, but at least they know something. Mayor Pete's arrogant and thinks he knows everything. We'd be totally screwed with Pete more than Kamala. Mayor Pete would be far worse than Kamala. He's so arrogant, thinks he knows everything. The typical millennial. Oh man, the weather's beautiful today. I don't know what the high is going to be. It's 72 degrees now. Oh yeah, he'd be the worst. He'd be worse by far. The street light. Yeah, I gotta keep my neck like on an angle to cover the street light here. Oh yeah, please like the video. Absolutely. If you're new, subscribe. And everyone, make sure you have the notification bell clicked. I hear from people all the time, I didn't get a notification. I didn't get a notification. Man, Pete was a failed mayor of a tiny town of, what, 100,000 people? Little tiny town. They're both bad, but he'd be worse. He would be worse. He's like what you call an imposter. You know? And I always say, Mayor Pete thinks he's like the Neil Armstrong of gays. Like he's the first gay man to do something. He's done nothing. And he's certainly not the first gay man to do anything. Gays have been coming out of the closet for many years, decades now. But Biden, there's not one positive thing that Biden has done. And that says a lot because, you know, there's a lot of jerks that are president, like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had a lot of problems, a lot of scandal. Steve, I was talking to Steve yesterday, and he went down a little bit yesterday. He was feeling better on Thursday, and I talked to Steve a couple times yesterday. He was sick as hell. No, he's been COVID tested. He's just got a very, very bad cold or flu. I don't know. But Bill Clinton, the economy did very well when Bill Clinton was president because the internet and Bill Gates, right? We had that tech boom. So as big of a jerk he was, George Bush, he was, he's a creep and a war criminal with his creepy vice president, but he was the perfect president to be there on 9/11. Could you imagine if Al Gore was president on 9/11? We'd have been so screwed. Although Al Gore may have been upset at the global warming environmental impact of the collapse of the buildings, but Bush was the right guy at the right time on September 11th and 12th. Iraq and his war crimes, then it went down the tubes. But Biden doesn't have one redeeming quality. It's Lamaski, not Molaski. Lamaski. I think it's Lomaski, actually. Lomaski. I'm sure Steve's checked in with the doctor. Could you imagine if Hillary would have won in 16? I think if Hillary would have won, it would have been a very boring, uneventful 4 years. She wouldn't have gotten involved in anything. All Hillary would have done was go around praising being the first woman to be the president. That's all she would have done. It would have been a very uneventful presidency. Bernie Sanders would be like Biden, because like Biden, he's corrupt and on the take, But Hillary Clinton, just uneventful, constantly congratulating herself and accepting awards for being the first female president. It would have been not a big, what did Van Jones say? It would have been a big nothing burger term. You said Biden's a good Catholic, yeah. Was that before or after confession? I haven't been to confession in a long time. Respiratory illness? Yeah, that's probably, Steve has something pretty serious. Everybody else in his house is recovered. He got it last, so. I don't know about that. These Supreme Court justices, she would have gotten Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but I don't know about the others. Corn Pop would be a better president than Biden? Yeah, probably. I mean, look at drugs. President Trump wiped out on the southern border. He wiped out not just human trafficking, sex trafficking, child trafficking, but he wiped out the drug cartels, and now they're all back too. So you got the sex trafficking and the drugs back, big time. Oh, Pelosi. What a joke she is. Merrick Garland. Oh my gosh, could you imagine Garland? He is an evil, evil guy. Who's the best Democrat? You mean currently? Today? Now, this is not an overall statement. This is just based on what's going on right now. Joe Manchin. I mean, stopping that Build Back Better did a lot to save this country. Mitch McConnell, yeah. No, Manchin. And Sinema. Manchin and Sinema. I'd give them both the honor, but Manchin in particular, because Sinema went in hiding. She couldn't take the heat and the pressure, but she still stood firm. Oh yeah, I don't think people realize by stopping Build Back Better how much we were saved. I put Manchin and Sinema together. I think best Democrat, Mitt Romney. No, Sinema, after she got harassed, she went into hiding, but she still stood up and did what was right. But Manchin, he was right out there in the front, taking the heat. If Biden did nothing, people would think he's great. Well, because Democrat voters are stupid. They don't know what the hell's going on. You said Mnuchin and cinema. Thank you notes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, some people had asked me. I did not go to Mar-a-Lago on January 6th, and I did not go I was going to go, and my wife told me I should not go, and she made a very good point, because there was an event. It wasn't the biggest, but there was an event down the street from Mar-a-Lago on January 6th, in support of President Trump, who was home at Mar-a-Lago. And I was going to go and vlog it, and my wife said, don't go. She said half the people there are undercover FBI, and if you go there and you're vlogging, you're gonna, and because I always run into listeners. Whenever I go to Mar-a-Lago, I always run into listeners. She says, you go there, you're vlogging, and listeners recognize you and everything, you're going to get put on the list. You're going to get put on the list. So I did not go to Mar-a-Lago on January 6th. I don't know how many people were there because I did not go. I did watch a little bit of it with my buddy Mike Nificent on Right Side Broadcasting, but they were definitely, last time, I told you the last time I went to Mar-a-Lago, I saw those, the fake Proud Boys that were undercover, you could tell. Yeah, is it next Saturday is the Trump rally? I think it is. Well, thank you, Sharon. Make sure everyone's subscribed and get all your friends to subscribe. Yeah, Kathy's got good instincts. The guys need a wife. Now listen, if you want to support my content and everything I do, the radio show, my live streams here, of course my podcast, which is been named the #3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. First is Mark Levin. 2 is Glenn Beck's The Blaze. 3, the Brian Craig Show podcast. Go to mypillow.com, use my promo code, and buy something. All right? And my promo code, of course, is Kane, Kane. All right, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper. You get 2 free MyPillows. The MyPillow sheets, buy 1 set, get a 2nd set free. A lot of good deals going on right there. 40% off the MyPillow, My Slippers. But you got to use my promo code Kane, Kane. One day, maybe. Well, that's how it is. I mean, we're just going to have to sit through this. It's going to be it's hard to believe we're not even a year in to this with Biden. And think about how bad things are, and it's been less than a year. Spot on about what, Flash? Name recognition, Mark? Name recognition? He's 2. No, Mark Levin is #1 podcast, but it's a rebroadcast of his radio show. And then Glenn Beck's The Blaze, and then I'm 3. I don't know who Macho is. You're Macho? I don't know who you are. I don't want to think about 3 years from now. We got to just get through each day under Biden. That's how bad it is. Oh, good. The light's still there. It hasn't gone off yet. I don't want to imagine 3 years. We're in a movement that's destroying democracy. Yeah. I'm already on a list. Well, there's different lists, okay? And one list you don't want to be on is anything that has anything to do with January 6th. That's a different list. Oh, yeah. Believe me, I know about the list. I know. Believe me, I know I'm on the list. This is not a flavored coffee. This is a venti. But venti is the size. That means the size cup is the biggest size. A venti hot blonde Americano. So Americano is the type of coffee. It's like a lighter coffee. The lighter the coffee, the higher the caffeine content. The darker the coffee, the lower the caffeine content. Well, thank you, Lowrider. I think I should be #1 too. Well, I'm #1 with all of you, which is all that matters, right? Ugh. It has 4 shots of espresso in it, so I'll be ready to go for the day. The only thing that gives you comfort is the Bible. Well, that's a very, very good thing. Transporting sick illegals all over the country should be front news. Yeah, absolutely it should be, Wayne. No doubt about it. Yeah, Mark Levin did not support Trump in 2015. That is true. Well, thank you, Cynthia, for being a Patreon supporter. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, I didn't do a podcast the last couple days, and that was not by accident. That was on purpose, because I am done talking about the Capitol breach. I'm just done. I wanted to wait for the Capitol breach news to move on, you know. I think I've said everything there is to say about that. How does the Starbucks staff feel about the MAGA hat? I do not wear it when I go inside and order my coffee. I leave it in the car. Because I don't want them to give me decaf. You know. You can't trust Democrats with anything you consume. Hell no. No. Oh, my nose is itching, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think I've got my take on everything that happened on the Capitol breach and what they're doing with Trump. I've said that many, many times. I think I've got the record pretty clear on that, and I just wanted that news to blow over. It's like yesterday on the radio, I didn't play one soundbite of any of them. They might spit in it, or give me decaf. They won't spit in it because you watch them make it, but I can't tell if they put in regular or decaf, you know? I am loud and proud, but you got to be careful. You couldn't watch his speech. I was going to watch. I didn't watch any of it. I watched some of the clips. I couldn't watch it. Just wear the hat backwards. It says Trump 2020 on the back of it. So you know. See? So wearing it backwards doesn't help. This is the hat I always talk about that Trump has seen with his own eyes in person. It's my favorite. Yeah. So, no. When it comes to things I consume in my body, you got to be careful. A dude ripped your shirt off. Wow, he assaulted you. That's assault. Did you call the police? That's definitely a police calling moment. You have an autographed Trump hat? I would love to have an autographed Trump hat. I didn't see that press conference, Carl. I saw some of the highlights, but I did not see the whole press conference. Yeah, you got to be smart. That's how liberals are, man. They're, you know, they do things like that. Oh, Trump has always been great. I supported Trump back in 2012 when Mitt Romney ran. Before the Republican primaries back then, Trump was talking about running. I was supporting Trump back then for president. 20 feet in front of Trump, yeah. Yeah, I tell people a lot, when you see Trump in person, his voice is deeper in person than it is on television. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but his voice seems much deeper, actually, in person. You got a deal on a hotel in Florida City. Florida City, I'm not sure where Florida City is. Well, that's true. You cannot have an insurrection without insurrectionists. I say that a lot. Finally, I've been saying that for a year, and finally Newsmax caught up to that. You know, we did not really get much of an update on Ron DeSantis' wife. Oh, awesome. Make sure you tell him you heard them on the radio, on the Steve Kane Show, John, when you go in. Best place to visit in Florida? It depends on what you're coming to Florida for. You know? Depends on what you're coming to Florida for. What you're visiting for. Are you moving? Tamarack? Tamarack, Florida is about the same size as the town that Mayor Pete was mayor of. She's still in the hospital. They made a change. They were going to move her to a nursing facility, but they're going to keep her in the hospital. They took her off the ventilator, She has a trach in. She can't speak because of the trach, and she's going through rehab. When they take you off a ventilator, apparently there's a massive rehab that lasts several weeks. You love Kissimmee? Nobody loves Kissimmee. Unless you're from there, I guess. You know, I've seen many rockets and space shuttles and things take off, but I've never gone to this. You can see them. Like I can see SpaceX take off from here, but I've never gone to the Space Center for an in-person launch, which would be an incredible experience because they change them all the time. Like, you know, the scheduled launch date is here, and you're ready for the launch, and then they scrub it, and it happens like 3 days later. It's like impossible. Even remember when President Trump flew Air Force One to Kennedy Space Center for the first SpaceX manned launch, then it didn't happen, so we went back to D.C., and then President Trump came back the next day. President Trump, on his first day in office when he's reelected in 2024, it'll be perfection. He'll turn things around on a dime. An in-person launch would be amazing, but it's very difficult. Yeah, Fouchy needs to, you know, when Fouchy retires, watch how the liberals will probably throw a parade for him. Boca, there's no U. It's an A. The town of Sunrise. You go to strange places in Florida. Yep, Sunrise is not far from here, though. No, a statue of Fauci. I wouldn't be surprised if they erect a monument to Fauci, the Democrats. Oh yeah. Yeah, he'll probably have a museum. I use Apple Pay for everything. You hear everything over $600 is going to be reported. I don't think I use Apple Pay for anything that big. I use Apple Pay for like gas, you know, stuff like that, groceries. I don't use it for major purchases. Can Ted Cruz recover from his January 6th terrorist comments? No. No, because, you know, when he was groveling to Tucker the other night about that, what a load of crap, right? He screwed up. You know, listen, this is, I take that back. He did not. I was talking about this on the air on Thursday on the radio. They're making, everybody knows what they're doing, right? They're using that law that they passed after the Civil War that said if you took part in an insurrection against the government, you can't hold office, federal office, because they didn't want General Lee to become president, right? Or Jefferson Davis to become president of the United States. So they're trying to use that against Trump. And eventually their plan, I don't know if they'll be successful, as I say all the time, is declare MAGA a domestic hate group, a domestic terrorist group. And Ted Cruz said what he said on purpose so that he's on the record, in the congressional record, of saying that MAGA's a terrorist. He wanted that in the record. He's full of crap on Tucker the other night. He said what he said, he meant what he said, and he wanted to be on the record saying it. On the record forever saying it. Being on Tucker isn't a forever record, you know. 50 years from now, that'll be forgotten. So no, don't. Now that doesn't mean Ted Cruz isn't going to help us out from time to time, you know. But he's a snake. He's like Paul Ryan. You know, and this thing about every transaction that's $600, I don't know if that's even feasible to do. I mean, how many transactions are over $600? What'll happen if anything the government does fails, right? Everything the government does screws up. So what'll happen, if they're going to monitor every purchase and report every purchase of $600, I mean, that's, you could go to, you go to a repair shop to get your car worked on. You get reported to the government. People will go total cash. They'll go to total cash society. They'll go to barter, you know, all kinds of other things. Anything the government gets involved in screws up. Yeah, it's 72 degrees right now, Johnson. Beautiful. Although, a little cloudy behind me. Thought I'd have some sunlight by now. A little dark. You have a tattoo that was $650? My goodness. Paul Ryan did sabotage his first term with Mitch McConnell. Absolutely. Cash in your gold bars? I don't have any gold bars to cash in. I wish I did. Gold bars. Oh my gosh. You think if I had gold bars like that, I'd be working as much as I do? Oh, nothing's dirtier than money, right? Well, the mail and money. Dirty as it gets. Yeah, it'll be 6,000. Yeah, exactly. It'll take me a wheelbarrow of money to buy my Starbucks coffee in the morning, right? What are you gonna do? That's just not gonna work. That'll be such a disaster, and it would be to report every transaction like that to the federal government would cause just total economic chaos. Yeah. Oh, you have a lot of gold bars too. Yeah. Yeah, I am in. And when I'm here on Saturdays, I'm usually in Parkland. I'm right down the street from where the Parkland shooting was. This is the Starbucks of the Parkland shooter. His house was just a few blocks from here. Costs pennies to make your coffee at home, but the coffee at home does not have enough caffeine in it. And people give me a hard time. This has 4 shots of espresso in it. 4 shots of Cuban coffee in this. You know how much caffeine that is? You can't make that at home. Not for this price. Well, they're surely not trying to get rid of the dollar for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's tanking, isn't it? Oh my goodness. I need high caffeine content. Paying it in pennies. What time does Joe Biden wake up? He probably wakes up about 8 in the morning. New York City is already lawless, man. Palpitations? Nah, not with this. If I had another one in a row, I would. You know. You would be addicted to espresso coffee too if you had to do a 3-hour radio show 5 days a week. Doing a 3-hour radio show, not easy, energy-wise. Oh, New York, yeah, New York. Snake Plissken's New York is safer. They need to bring in the Duke of New York. And this mayor who's supposed to be the big savior, he brings in this police chief who's like involved in bribery scandals. Well, thank you, Yogi Rocket. Cryptocurrency is being pushed by now. The government wants their piece of the pie. Yeah, I was looking at crypto. Crypto's ridiculous. I mean, it's like tanking like crazy. I have never been to the Miami Aquarium. Chicago, I have not been to Chicago in about 15 years. Escape from LA is not as bad as you think. It's not Escape from New York, but it's not as bad as you think if you go back and watch it now. It's not great, but it's not as bad. You moved to Florida to escape Seattle. Yeah, my mother goes to Seattle a lot. She has friends in Seattle. Don't go to Chicago, it's a dump too. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of aquariums or zoos. The bunker in Greenbrier, on Fox Nation, I think Brian Kilmeade gave a tour of the Greenbrier bunker, and it's not that impressive. I've been hearing about the Greenbrier, and I've seen like still pictures of it that look impressive. And Brian, go on Fox Nation if you have the app, and look at Brian Kilmeade's tour of the Greenbrier bunker. It is very unimpressive. Hiroshima recover quicker than Chicago? Absolutely. Yeah, you know why? Because they didn't have Democrats in the rebuilding of Hiroshima. No. That's funny. Coffee's gross? Nah. I don't drink it for the taste. I drink it for the caffeine. I told you, I am to espresso what crack and hookers are to Hunter. I'm addicted to it. Deerfield Beach is one of the nicest beaches in Florida. Laura Logan was sidelined over there, absolutely. Stop for jaywalking, my goodness. Yeah. Has everybody liked the video? Make sure you like the video. If you're new, subscribe. 10 cups. This is the only coffee I'll have today. I won't drink any more coffee today. Just the one a day. I was drinking 2 of these a day, and I'm about to have a heart attack. My blood pressure went through the roof. So I had to cut back. I just drink it because I need the energy boost. You know, it's funny you say that. People in southern states are nicer than people in the northwestern and Eastern. My daughter had a friend visiting from California recently, came here and stayed for a few days, and she was talking about how nice people are in Florida, like southern hospitality that they don't have in California. No, that is not my truck. I don't have a truck anymore. Yeah, it looks like it's going to rain. A lot of clouds behind me. All right, guys, well, I finished my coffee, so I'm going to take off. So make sure that you like the video. If you're new, subscribe and click the notification bell. There are some pretty snooty Southerners. The snooty Southerners are probably people that relocated here from New York. All right, guys. I'll